Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaranari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. All glories to the Supreme devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Supreme devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Supreme devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Share this thing. I welcome you all for Iskcon Seshadripuram daily online Bhagavatam class, chapter 4, fourth canto, verse number 1 to 3. We will do verse translation, then word to word and purport we will see. Sati quits her body. Text 1, Maitreya Uvacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Fourth canto, fourth chapter, first verse to third verse, Sati quits her body. Maitreya Uvacha. Etavad Virarama Sankaraha Patni Agnanasam He Ubhayatra Chintayan Suhrdrikshu Parishankita Bhavan Nishkramanti Nirvisati Dividasya Sa. Translation. The sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva was silent after speaking to Sati. Seeing her between decisions, Sati was very much anxious to see her relatives at her father's house, but at the same time she was afraid of Lord Shiva's warning. Her mind unsettled, she moved in and out of the room as a swing moves this way and that. Next verse. सुहृदिदृक्षा प्रतिघाता दुर्मनः स्नेहादृदन्ति अश्रु कलातिविह्वला भवां भवानी अप्रीतु पुरुषं रुषा प्रदक्ष्यति वैक्षता जात वेपतुः. Translation: Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to go see her relatives at her father's house, and due to affection for them, tears fell from her eyes. Shaking and very much afflicted, she looked at her uncommon husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with her vision. Text number 3. ततो विनिश्वस्य सती विहयमत्थं तं ततो ततो विनिश् ततो विनिहश्वस्य सती विहाय तं सो शोकेन रोषेण च द्वयता हृदा पित्रोरगात् सरित्रेण विमुदधिर्ग्रहान् प्रेम्णात्मनो यो अर्धम् अदात् सतं प्रियः. Translation: Thereafter Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her off his body due to affection, breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement. She went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. Here the translation and verse for this particular verse. Start with the previous. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं शरणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहनललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते. सप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुतदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So now we are in fourth canto, first three verses. A little recap to understand where exactly we are. The previous chapters we have come across Daksha's sacrifice. We all know Daksha's sacrifice. He was doing initially two sacrifices. The first one is Vajpayee Yajna, and the second one is another Yajna. For that only Sati wanted to go. So this is started from at the question, how could Daksha hate Shiva? So Daksha has got a envy on Shiva. saying that, not saying that he has got that, uh, puffed up thought that I am so elevated. I am a leader for Prajapatis, like that. Oh, and Lord Shiva was in deep meditation, and he misunderstand, that. Then he got that enviousness on him, and then in the sacrificial arena, Nandi, came there and started favoring to Lord Shiva, and then in turns, Brihumuni also started arguing for other Brahmanas and other rishis who were assembled in that sacrificial arena, Vajpayee. And when this was going on, in the meanwhile, as a, you know, we all know the position of Lord Shiva. He's Ishwaranam Yatha Sambho, and he and Mother Parvati are Sati, right? They both were leading a life, and when there was another yajna which is there in his father's place, Daksha's place, and she was demanding, my dear husband, I have to go to my native, like how we demand in our grahastha's life. Same way they were also started discussing each other, and she was also telling so what had happened in the past, so whether, and also he's giving some examples, so whose house we should step in or whose house we should not step in into, like that. This is a good conversation between husband and wife. So, argue various arguments between they both. So let us discuss few things from various arguments given by Sati to Lord Shiva to convince him to go to the sacrifice. That means second sacrifice. So father Shiva's father-in-law Daksha's house, and there is another yajna. So for that, Sati is demanding by having so much of love and affection on their relatives and friends, family friends, like that. And she puts argument with her husband, Lord Shiva. It is your father-in-law sacrifice. All the demigods are also going. My sister will be there. I have desire to meet my relatives. We can receive gifts presented by my parents. I have been longing for a long time to meet my sisters. I have a desire to see, this most glorious sacrifice. I don't have ideal expectation from me because I do not know the truth about you completely. And don't you see other ornaments, women going in group along with their husband? So, see how they are, getting ready for any marriage or any occasion, like that. Kind of Sati's mood here exhibiting. And by drinking, poison to protect others, you have shown your quality of sacrifice to all. And she's pleasing, her husband also. The festivity is visible in the sky only, with swan-like aeroplanes carrying the devatas. And now, big celebrities and all will come with a big, latest modern car, like that. One can go to father's house, father-in-law's house, friend's house, and husband's house, even without invitation. She's justified. These are the houses, uh, father's house, father-in-law's house, friend's house. These are the justification, from Sati's side to Lord Shiva, and it is natural for daughter to get stirred up on the hearing about the glorious sacrifice by her father. And she is also so much attached, to her father, and she is again pleasing. You are so merciful. You have only accepted me as your wife out of your own free will. Therefore, if you so desire, we shall go. She is offering him also. We both will go. Then we will see what Lord Shiva says to Sati. Oh, Lord Shiva, trying to convince his wife, because he know what had happened in the previous yajna, that is Vajpayee yajna. So in front of everyone, Daksha insulted Lord Shiva, and then all these other indiscipline or bad activities or misunderstanding or the envious activities happened. And then he starts like this. It is true that one could go to their friend's house uninvited, provided they don't find fault with you, because he is always, fault finder. Devotional service also, we should be very careful whether we are suggesting or whether we are finding the fault, etc., like that. And then one should not go to the house of those people who have negative disposition towards the guest. a negative disposition. When they have fear of someone's arrival, then we should think twice, thrice. And then the six pious opulences become fault in a person who is proud. Is addressing about Daksha, and one suffers more due to the harsh words of one's relatives than due to the sharp arrows. See, these words are so powerful. Whenever we have a very hard or hard discussions, that time we should be mindful. The opponent should not get hurt by directly or indirectly. And then Lord Shiva again started with Sati, but I am his favorite daughter. She's telling, I am his favorite daughter. He will not be harsh to me. That is her expectation. And then you are speaking all this because of hatred towards my father. She's not believing. She's supporting still for her father. Only you are only misunderstanding. That is the mood of a daughter and between husband and wife. And but he is your father-in-law. You should have at least stood up. And she's favoring to the father only. Then why didn't you recognize the super soul within Daksha and stand up? And she's speaking philosophy and all these things. And because I was in samadhi, worshipping the supreme Lord with my purified consciousness. And then Lord Shiva is justifying. I was in the deep meditation of meditating on the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, you should not see your father and his followers, as he is envious of me and insulted me in front of all others. So be careful. Like that, he is giving instruction to his wife. If you neglect my words and go, you will be humiliated, and it may lead to the death also, because Lord Shiva knows about the death, everything. And now we come to today's. These are the narrations between Sati and Lord Shiva. And here the Sati's response to Shiva's words, that is what today's discussion. These three. One is she was in two minds. This is what the situation. After hearing both the side, Sati argued, and then Lord Shiva tried to convince her. And later on, Sati's mood here, Maitreya to Vidura. She was in two minds with a desire to meet her relatives. She would go out, but would immediately come back again in fear of Shiva. And then she started to cry. Her body started to shake, and she glanced at Shiva in great anger at not being allowed to go. Then, tormented by the extreme emotions of anger and lamentation, and coming under the grips of her womanly weakness, she lost her intelligence and left Shiva. So this is the exact problem statement we can understand for today's discussion. And the main the core point is after the so much of instruction from Lord Shiva, since the translation says due to the womanly weakness she had got affection towards their parents. She's so particular on visiting her parents' place in a dilemma, like a pendulum. Prabhupada says the pendulum like this. So now we will go to the purport of each one of the words. Then we will get into the discussion. The first verse, Sati's mind was divided about whether to go to her father's house or obey the orders of Lord Shiva. The struggle between the two decisions was so strong that she was pushed from one side of the room to another, and she began to move just like a pendulum of clock. So this is the position of you know Mother Sati. And here the second sorry, this is the purport. Sorry, the second purport says the word aparitya purusha used in this verse means one who has no equal. That means about Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has no equal in the material world in regard to equality towards everyone. So that means that Lord Shiva is Ishwarana Veta Sambho. He is the topmost Vaishnava in the material planet. His wife Sati knew that her husband was equal towards everyone. So why in this case was he so unkind to his wife? that he did not allow her to go to her father's house. So this is the confusion. This distressed her more than she could tolerate, and she looked at her husband as if she were ready to blast him with her vision. Between husband and wife, it's so common. In other words, since Lord Shiva is the Atma, it is indicated here that Sati was prepared to commit suicide. Such a deep understanding between husband and wife. Another meaning of the word Aparati Purusha, the, the another meaning for Shiva. First meaning was one who has no equal. The another meaning for the same is the personality who has no rival also. Since Lord Shiva could not be pursued to give her permission, Sati took shelter of a woman's last weapon, weeping, which forces husband to agree to the proposal of his wife. She started crying, I have to go to my father's place, etc. Like that. Then the third sloka's purport is, according to the Vedic conception of family life, the husband gives off his body to his wife, and the wife gives off of her body to her husband. In other words, a husband without a wife or a wife without a husband is incomplete. Vedic material relationship existed between Lord Shiva and Sati, but sometimes due to weakness, a woman becomes very much attracted by the members of her father's house, and this happened to Sati. Here I will stop because it's still two more paragraph is there. So now we will get into the detail. Here I would like to bring out, even in our life also, one should be very mindful with these things. What is the purpose of grahasthashrama? How to deal with husband and wife relations, etc. And what is the importance of grahasthashrama? The main importance of grahasthashrama to protect all the other three ashramas. So this grahasthashrama is very very important. One should be so mindful with getting into all this. Otherwise, we could not be stable in our sadhanas. And then, how to earn one's livelihood in Grahasthashrama, the do's and don'ts. Now, for my survival, I should not get into any of the abominable activities. One could not claim that no, so I want to upbring my children. So I am doing prostitution, and I am doing liquor business, and I am doing this animal cutting business like that, or liquor shop, all these things, gambling related activities. So one should be so keen on this grahastha ashrama in such a way that making the wealth and protect the other ashramas, and for their own purification of their activities. So otherwise we may puffed up here and there, we may fall without maintaining any four regulative principles. One should be mindful with that. And yes, of course, the charity. So, whom to give charity? We should give charity to the Vaishnavas, whoever is needy, like Shastradhan, or distributing prasadam like that. And serving guests, dealing with others. Atithi. We are Atithi Devo Bhava. In our culture, it is built in. So Atithi means the one who will not see Nera Kala, who will get into our house, and who could understand our mood and our house position that much close. Atithi means. And then how to offer the hospitality, all these things. How you know uh, Krishna deals with Sudama in that way, the hospitality, and serving elders and parents. All these are very much required. In Kali Yuga, we are so fallen. We need all this to be mindful, actually. So, in that line, I would like to bring out some reference from Srimad Bhagavatam, fourth canto only, 27th chapter and first verse. So this is the translation of that. The great sage Narada continued, My dear king, after bewildering her husband in different ways and bringing him under her control, the wife of King Puranjana, gave him all satisfaction and enjoy sex life with him. In Grahasthashrama, let us discuss few things related to Grahasthashrama from reference of Srimad Bhagavatam, 27th chapter and verse number 1. And the take home from this is a living entity similarly engaged in the. So here this king, came from after hunting, from the forest, and he saw the position of his wife, and he got affection, towards his wife, and then he had a relationship with her. For that, the take home message is a living entity is similarly engaged in the material world in sinful activities like going to the forest and hunting. These sinful activities may be compared to the king Puranjana hunting in the forest. And again, so how to purify? Here the explanation from Prabhupada. We could engage into religious, I mean our religious process like yajna, vrata, dana, rather, but we get into materialistic activities again and again. So not only eating, sleeping, bathing, defending his consent, but here mating is the point here. And if a husband and wife combine together in Krishna consciousness and live together peacefully, that is very nice. However, if a husband becomes too much attracted by his wife and forgets his duty in life, so that means his day-to-day activities and the implications of materialistic life will again resume. So the point is, so he is forgetting totally his, uh, varnashrama dharma, and he's getting into behind the sex life always. Then it is a big, challenge. Even Ajamila we know. So that is another extreme. So Ajamila chased, away all his, parents, wife, children, with the affection of, the sexual affection with the prostitute and etc. This is in another, scale it is being mentioned. It is therefore man's duty to keep woman under his shelter, I mean protection by satisfying her, giving her ornament. Not only the woman will not feel happy only by keeping my man only for this sexual desire. So Prabhupada here it being explained that not that you should give protection as a father, you should give protection as a husband, we should give protection as a children, we should give protection to the woman, giving her some gifts like ornaments, nice food, and cloth, and engaging her in the religious activities. If the man becomes attracted to woman simply for sex enjoyment, the family life becomes abominable. And also, the great politician Chanakya Pandita says, Bharya Rupavati Shatruha. That means a beautiful wife is an enemy because his husband is got attracted always with this beautiful wife and not doing, his austerities. So the attraction, to the like the whole world is captivated by the two modes of material nature. One is Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So these activities, so always falling into this guna. Here it is mentioned that Rajoguna and Tamoguna. That is passion and ignorance. Generally, women are very much, passionate like that. By nature, she got so after giving the birth to the child, she is so attached to that baby like that. After marriage, she is so, pleasing to her husband. So naturally, it is. By performing bhakti yoga or devotional service, a man can be raised to the platform of goodness, and woman also can follow. The intelligence of the man and woman may then work very nicely together. When the husband thinks, wife is a devotee, the wife thinks, husband is a devotee, then the grahastha ashrama is very perfect. And they can make progressive march towards spiritual realization. Otherwise, the husband coming under the control of wife sacrifices uh, his quality of goodness and becomes subservient to the qualities of passion and ignorance. So that means he should not forget, his responsibilities. Like, Ajamila, he went one step ahead, not only wife's beauty, the prostitute beauty. He went to there and then he chased even a wife and all this. And in this way, the whole situation becomes polluted. So finally, the conclusion is that household life is better than the sinful life devoid of responsibility. So we should have a proper grahastha procedures. But if in the household life the husband becomes subordinate to the wife, involvement in materialistic life again become prominent. It's very big, difficult. When you attach, the men also attach like that, then it's a big problem. In this way, man's material bondage becomes enhanced. Because of this, according to the Vedic system, after a certain age, a man is recommended to abandon his family life for the stage of vanaprastha and sannyasa. So, I have attended, in our Seshadripuram temple, there is a vanaprastha ashrama session. It's a discourse. The first lesson is the art of dying. I felt, it's so heavy. So now only I have joined, and now they are telling, the art of dying, how to leave the body, and like that. So in that, about husband and wife life, at least at the age of, 50, 55, one should totally, come out of this sexual attraction between husband and wife or both the, you know, uh, persons, both husband and wife. And then as we discussed, the importance of Grahasthasrama is, let us discuss few points related to Grahasthasrama because it's a problem between both husband and wife. So I try to, bring out the mood from our acharyas, manual or, sayings and preserves all the four ashramas. That is the duty of a Grahasthasrama. And only through this ashrama only the Vedic and spiritual culture could be maintained and protected easily, right? And as we discussed, serving elders. So we have to serve our parents, very nicely. But do we having, that more we are using very harsh words and not treating like, guests. So after old age, we have to treat our parents. So I don't know in modern, world how many of them has got opportunity to lead life along with their elders. The culture totally, vanished. And then dealings of, grahastha men with women. So the grahastha man should be very careful when dealing with another woman, while, dropping, by two-wheeler or meeting in a secluded place. Uh, and not without addressing, Mataji. So in Iskcon, it is very good practice that whenever we meet any, opposite gender, we can address Mataji. That is a practice. And not only that, this is a Grahastha Ashrama. So still, uh, we can avoid, physical contact. Even Prabhupada says, though between mother and son, we should not sit on the lap over a period of time. That means that is okay, motherly affection, all these things are there, but we should maintain some of the etiquette, be respectful and not, towards, other gender, especially, towards women. And talking to other women should be need based, preferably in presence of one's wife. Always we should keep these things. It does not mean that, we are not, uh, crossing the limit or something, but it is mandatory to keep oneself, well protected and take uh, counseling from men counselors, right? For grasta men, take counseling from a men counselors, and service that involve too much interaction with the woman should be done through the wife. If there are any seva or something, if there are so much of interaction with other matajis, it is better to recommend, through one's wife. It could be executed in that. Same way, dealing of grasta, grasta woman with a man. So same thing applicable here also. And whenever, woman wanted to meet, Siksha Guru or, going to temple or getting into some seva, it is better to have husband along with, the devotee. Some situation, wife may be elevated and husband will not be in that much elevated, in Krishna consciousness. So there it is applicable. And services that involve too much in interaction with the brahmacharis, other men should be done through the through the husband. So these are the understandings, how to deal with. Even for sannyasis, it is there. Sannyasis even they should not look at their own wife after taking sannyasa. Even they should not meet any Mataji's or any devotees in a secluded place like that. So that restriction and all that. Even some brahmacharis will not look at the opposite gender face at all. These are the austerities one could manage based on shastras, not based on their own speculation. Somebody will be very emotionally following so many things, but that is not recommended. And in that line, we could discuss further about the grihastha. And also, parents should not allow their children to fail. The parents, should encourage. Prabhupada always says, the children should taught this life science from the very tender age. No, no, let our children, grow that, this and all. No, let us give this life science, how we are teaching them mathematics, how we are teaching them swimming, cycling, like that. This life science should be taught them from the very tender age. So that is a very important point here. And then uh, one should know the position of a woman in Varnashrama system. Very, very important. Somebody thinks, very easily that this and that. What is the position of woman in a Varnashrama system? The Vedas place woman in a high pedestal of sublimity as indicated in the following verse. Yatra nireyastu pujante ramante tatra devaha. Where woman is worshipped, demigods preside there. So where the woman is worshipped, so glorify the daughter, glorify wife, glorify a mother, and glorify a sister. So there demigods preside there. So it's always recommended the position of a woman should be always glorified. So are we doing in the such a way? We have to check that. Now there are so many harassment, this raping, murder, and in turn, women also doing, so many other activities to uh, catch hold of, some boys like that. So in both the gender. But now, how is a woman to be treated in a Varna Sharma system? This is most important. I feel, for today's discussion. How is a woman to be treated in a Varna Sharma system? Because every single woman must be given a love. So that is more very, very, very important. We should have love and compassion towards her, one's own mother, sister, daughter, like that. And according to the Shastra, they should be glorified and honored. Then demigods are pleased. Bhishmadev states, here, Bhishmadeva says this, the house where there is no honor for the woman, all acts becomes fruitless. Right? So the woman should be glorified in each and every role of the woman. And women are deities of prosperity. They are the very embodiment of Lakshmi Devi. Dishonoring a woman is like disrespecting Lakshmi Devi. So one should respect a woman very nicely, who will then not cast her, this such a home, will not stand for a long time. The Vedic injunction is that all men should look upon all women except their wife and their mother. They should take care very nicely of their wife and husband. And a woman in Grahasthashrama imparts samskaras to the children. This is very, very, very important. How to bring up the children into Krishna consciousness only with the support of a woman, mother. Thus, good children are generated, good population ensured, and God conscious, happy, and prosperous human society. Very, 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 very important. Woman plays a very important role upbringing the children in a Krishna consciousness with the guidance of spiritual master and her husband or a father. And then society into the mood of goodness, which is platform for spiritual progress. Otherwise, a hellish condition would be created in the society. Varna Shankara. We know the unwanted population will become more, so that will become a big challenge. And it must be concluded that woman is always an object of worship in the Vedic society and not an object of exploitation. So this is very, very, very important how to deal with the woman and what is the position of the woman in the Vedic culture. And lack of this Vedic perspective is the source of many ills in the so-called modern society. And also Acharya says woman is always protected. Make sure the king should protect, ensure that the leader of the colony, the leader of the family should be ensured always the woman is protected very well, or any organization like that. And then duties of a husband. When we think about protection of a woman, automatically the duties of a husband also we should think. But this is many husbands, could not understand their responsibility, and they puffed up with their position and all these things. And a natural quality of real Vaishnava is to understand how much his wife is helping him in this devotional service, protecting him from Maya. We go happily and hear some katha in temple there, here. We go and get into the seva in temple there. Who is taking care of our children? Who is taking care of our house? Because of her support only, the men could engage into devotional service. Even Prabhupada goes one step higher about sannyasa. Until you have a good serving wife, even you no need sannyasa. That is a glorification Prabhupada gives to Mataji. And according to Vedic wisdom, a good wife is great asset for material and spiritual prosperity. Without wife, there is no this kind of thing. The bodily relationship between the husband and wife is secondary. We should be very, very, very careful with this point. We should have a regulated way of, this kind of uh, procreation. And in Shiksha round, we would have come across the Bhakti steps. We write the form. So in that form, you will come to know regulated way of the intimacy. That is also important. And Lord Rishabhadev instructs his 100 sons that one who cannot deliver his dependents from the cycle of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, mother, or able demigod, worshipable demigod. So this is the biggest challenge for every grasthas. Where I'm reading once again. One who cannot deliver his dependence from the cycle of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. So that means my Shiksha Guru always says the blind can lead another blind. When I am not a devotee, how can I lead my wife? How can I lead my children? That may end up with disaster or something, or I may put myself into trouble. Humility, tolerance, and understanding are important attributes in performing duties of a husband. Yeah. So my father-in-law is a lawyer, so he says always, whenever he deals with this divorce cases, he will tell, no command should be there from the husband, no demand should be there from the wife. Then their life could go in a the train can travel in the track. Otherwise, if there is a command from husband, there is a demand from wife. It's highly difficult. So yes, this is the progress, but how to balance this? Both husband and wife should sit together and decide where the demand increases, where the command increases. Then our life journey will be so smooth. Otherwise, we will not get into all this. Keep on, we can discuss you know more on this, but here I would like to stop here. So this is the take home message from that from Mother Sati and Lord Shiva. So here we will stop today's discussion. There are any questions we can take. If my speaker is not working, please put your query in the chat. I can discuss on it. So here I will stop. Once again, thanks to all the devotees for joining. Hare Krishna. If there are any queries or any sharings, only. Okay. If there are any no queries, here I'd like to stop. Grandpa Shiva Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Shiva Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. We will end the session now. Thanks for the opportunity to the temple authorities.